Welcome to Canada Reads Inspired, featuring two friends who hope to inspire you to read across Canada. Rebecca is an hour from the border in Michigan, and Tara is from Ontario.
Welcome to Canada Reads Inspired. I'm Tara. I'm here today with author Erin Singer. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited to have you here with us. Erin is the winner of a Pushcart Prize and the Penn Robert J. Dow Short Story Prize for Emerging Writers. She grew up in the Yukon Territory and Northwest Saskatchewan, but currently lives in Las Vegas with her family. She is here today to share her newest novel, or actually it's your first novel too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Dangerland. So let's just jump in. Tell us about Dangerland, Erin.
So it's sort of two things. On one hand, it's like a will they or won't they romantic comedy between these two characters named Eugenie and Kurt, who are both Las Vegas natives. And this goes on for like 40 years. And then on the other hand, it's sort of like a messy family dramedy because all their kids, of course, get kind of roped into this relationship and feel the consequences of this crazy relationship they have over the years. Their kids and other people in their lives, I guess. And it's all set sort of like in this suburban, sun-soaked, like Las Vegas backdrop.
That is it perfect. I've seen it described as a darkly funny romantic comedy.
Yeah, I think that works.
It totally is. It is. I'm like, it's a perfect, but it's also like got a lot of messy family drama in it. But Eugenie and Kurt, who are our romantic protagonists, are in their 60s and 50s respectively. We go back through the thing. That's not your typical romantic protagonist. Like usually they're mid-20s on the cusp of everything ahead of them. So why did you choose older characters for your main protagonists?
Well, I didn't set out to do that because normally I am somebody who's sort of nervous. I'm not that age yet. But I believe like love and, those complicated feelings. It's a universal feeling that you still have when you're older and you have when you're 20. But maybe when you're a little older, you have more perspective on the world, more years behind you. And so having older characters with this history, it gives kind of like a deepness and richness to their romance, I guess, that you don't get maybe if you're watching a romantic comedy about two 20-year-olds and they come together at the end and you wonder like, is this going to really last the test of time? Maybe I'm cynical. I love romantic comedies, but I do always think that at the end of a movie or something like that, or a romance novel. But I didn't actually set out to have these protagonists in their 50s and 60s. I had written the novel. I'm kind of a short story writer originally. So I'd written the novel. I was still trying to write short stories. I was writing a novel in the style of short stories. So I had 10 chapters, and each chapter of the novel was told from a different point of view, a different character who lived in this community of Alluvian. That was the first draft. And I submitted it to my agent, and she was like, there's way too many characters here, like narrow your focus. And she's like, I really think like the heartbeat of the novel are these two characters, Eugenie and Kurt, and focus in a little more on them. And so once I did that, then the novel really took off, and it really hung together as more of a traditional novel that way. And yeah, because there's lots of history with them to dig into, which makes it fun.
I loved getting the history, but what I really liked about them being older protagonists, and we see the development of their relationship and how it moves and ups and downs, is that as opposed to like a regular romance that has a happily ever after, you never know. And this is no spoilers to any, you got to read the book, but I felt like I didn't know truly are they going to get together or not. Like it's not a given. When you can see 40 years of a relationship, it's not a given as to how it's going to end up.
You just don't know. I mean, I'm one of those people, I don't know if you are, where you're like, you feel really strongly about something. And then like a week later, you might be like, I see a new perspective on that. I don't know. Like, do I think that at all? That thing I felt so confident about. And when I was writing the book, like, I didn't really know, are these two really going to end up together? They have so many challenges. Can these two people actually make it work? So that was that was sort of a surprise to me too,
Yeah.
what what happens.
I flipped as well often to whether I wanted them to get together. Like,
Yeah.
I kept going back and forth. I'm like, "I think I want them to go this way, or maybe I do." So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed not knowing
Yeah.
where it's gonna go.
I was like that too. I was sort of like I don't know if this should happen even like
Mhm.
or I don't like what is the happy ending here in this story? Like that's the question, I guess.
Yes. Yes, that's perfect, actually. What is the happy ending? Yeah.
Mhm.
You mentioned that it's set in Vegas, and it is very much a love story to Vegas.
Mhm.
But there's that dichotomy of Vegas for those who live in Vegas and the tourists or outsiders. Do you wanna
Well,
discuss that?
obviously, Las Vegas is really different when you live here. When I moved to Las Vegas from Canada, I was really down on it, if I'm going to be honest. And it's an easy place to, kind of talk some smack about. A lot of people have strong opinions, negative opinions about Vegas, about it. It's an adult playground. It's trashy. I would read, tweets from people where they'd be like, oh, I got to get home and wash the Vegas off of me. And I kind of was feeling that in the beginning. I was like, wow, the beauty of the desert escaped me when I first moved here. And I was kind of hard on it, I guess. And then the longer I lived here, the more I've really grown to love it. And
Mhm.
I even appreciate, like, a lot of locals here will say, oh, I never go to the strip, or like that's not, part of my life or whatever. But my husband's a professional gambler, and so we go to the strip probably more than the average Vegas suburbanite, I guess. And that's part of the appeal to me. There, you get that fun. You kind of can feel like, you get that fun vacation-y feel sometimes in Vegas just by going to, the restaurants and shows and things like that. But it's also just like the suburbs are a very like beautiful, easy place to live here. And I appreciate that a lot more, like the beautiful like desert walking paths we have. And I live in the suburbs, but I can drive 10 minutes and I'll be at like Red Rock Canyon, just gorgeous nature, world-class rock climbing, all that stuff. And so those are the things that I didn't really appreciate when you're just going to a casino, battling through, like, you're here for 4 days, you're battling through all the tourists at the casino, going from one place to the next, spending $1 million. It's definitely like a more relaxed pace of life when you live here.
Yeah. I I enjoy it. So I've never been to Vegas, so I just have that stereotype of Vegas in my head. But I've always
Hmm.
wondered, like, obviously Vegas cannot just be gambling. Like, what is beyond Vegas? And at the same time that I was reading your book, I was watching the final season of Hacks. So
Oh
it
yeah.
like it just kind of like was the perfect balance between getting the
Yes.
strip and everything else, with that is part of Vegas and getting the other side of Vegas.
Well, and there's fun things about living here that are things that are really different too from other. It's not like the strip also comes to the suburbs, sort of like, your kids go to preschool with like the kids of, Cirque du Soleil performers and strip club DJs and, all kinds of different people that work in the tourism and hospitality industry in the city. Cause obviously it's a big, wonderful hospitality city. And there's lots of little funny things like, my kids, I didn't go in a casino until I was 18 years old. Well, my kids were going into the casino at like 2 months old. That's where the bowling alleys are. That's where the movie theaters are. You go into like drug stores and grocery stores here. They have slot machines, and then the airport has slot machines. So there is even though some people will say, oh, it's kind of just like suburbia in Orange County or, Phoenix or something like that. It does have a little bit of that Vegas spice to it, even out here
Yeah,
in the suburbs. Yeah.
very cool. So Vegas now, but you grew up in the Yukon Territory and Northwest Saskatchewan. How did
Hmm.
these places make their way into your book?
Well, I consider myself, even though I've lived in Las Vegas for 19 years now, so most of my adult life, I definitely consider myself like a Canadian writer. And a lot of my short stories, they would almost all be set in Saskatchewan, where I kind of spent my like teen years and early adult years. And so it just felt natural to me, I don't know, to have that side of it
Yeah.
myself, I guess, reflected in the book. And that came out sort of in the character of Nellie, who is a nanny to Kurt, who comes from Saskatchewan. And that's where I sort of channeled some of my own feelings about what it feels like to go from somewhere that's so different, like rural Saskatchewan is so different from suburban Las Vegas. And I had a lot of fun kind of putting my own thoughts of the, and observations about somebody who's come from another country and place and is viewing, I'm viewing this city from an outsider's perspective. Eugenie and Kurt are definitely the insider perspective on Vegas, and Nellie's sort of like the outsider thinking of home and all the little stuff I've gathered over the years of being sort of sometimes, nobody meeting me can tell that I'm from Canada unless they pick up on some accent things or whatever. But so sometimes I was like, I feel like I'm an embedded journalist and making these observations. It's kind of good as a writer to be able to do that. So I had fun with that. And there is one chapter set in Saskatchewan, so that was a lot of fun for me to write. It's sort of my
Yeah.
comfort zone.
I loved Nellie when she popped up and we were introduced to her. I was like, oh, like I did the same thing. I felt like now there's the little piece of Canada that is in the book kind of thing. So it just made me feel a little, yeah, it gave
Yes.
me like that little further connection to the book. I really liked it.
Yeah, I feel like I always have to do that because people who meet me here too, or anyone I meet at a writing conference, or I'm definitely like the Saskatchewan girl. Like I will definitely talk to you about, where I'm from, and I'm from Vegas, but I'm really from Saskatchewan. I lived in the Yukon until I was 12, but my family's not from there. My dad was in the RCMP before he retired, so we had gone there for his job, and I loved living there. But my family roots are more in like rural Saskatchewan. So that is what really feels like home and my comfort place for me,
Yeah.
writing wise and just emotionally.
Yeah. I get, my father is a retired RCMP officer as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Because it's funny when we started talking offline before we start hitting record,
Uh-huh.
I did the same thing. I'm like, because I was like, oh, you're in Vegas. And then you're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Southern Ontario, but I'm from Newfoundland. Like I did this weird thing.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, I need you to know where I'm originally from. So it's
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important part of you. Some people aren't like that, though. I have another friend, Taja Eason. Actually, she's from Toronto, and she has a book coming out called Tough Love in March, and I can't wait to read it. But anyway, she lives here too, and she's from Canada, and she's a little more like, oh yeah, I'm from Toronto. But I feel like a big part of my identity is being from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why that is with me,
Yeah.
as opposed to
It's
other Canadians I meet sometimes on the writing scene is like, yeah, I'm Canadian, but it's not really that big of a deal to them. I don't know.
I get it. I get it. Even though I'm not a writer myself, I get the one, you have that connection to a place and it's just
Hmm.
part of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It came through beautifully in the book.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I do have to ask, I put this in here. So on page 138 of my copy, you have one of your characters say, you can't say you're a local until you see Carrot Top in the wild. I'm like, I have to ask you, have you seen Carrot Top?
I've seen Carrot Top many times.
Yeah.
Yes, he loves to eat at like suburban chain restaurants around my area of town. So but I haven't seen him in probably a year. But definitely I've seen him out, and he's a super friendly. Like, we'll take pictures with people. I've never asked him, but I've seen other people approach him, and yeah, he's very well known around this town. You see that's a Vegas thing. You see Penn and Teller. When I had my baby, I got a lactation consultant come over, and she was like, I was Celine Dion's lactation consultant. Like, we had our laptop broke, and we had like a Mac guy come, and he's like, he's like, I do Marie Osmond's Mac stuff, and you wouldn't believe how much stuff she stores on her computer. It's so Vegas is a big city, but it's got
Yeah.
this weird like small town vibe, and maybe
Yeah.
it's like celebrities are a little more at your fingertips than other places. I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird. I love that because now it's just what you're saying. Like the suburbia is not the normal suburbia.
Yeah, totally. I've
Yeah.
never seen Celine Dion though. I would absolutely love. I don't think she bumps into people though. I think she's maybe like flying around by helicopter in Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
know.
got to be. I don't
Yeah,
picture her among the normal
no,
people.
I'm not running into her at TJ Maxx or anything.
Or else she's incognito. I don't think she could go incognito though.
No, she's too fabulous.
No, there's no way. Okay, we mentioned the romantic relationships of the book, and there's more than just Eugenie and Kurt going on, but I found it's about messy family relationships because it's
Hmm.
all circulating or revolving around them. Can you tell us about the various dynamics of the parent-child relationships that you explored in the book? Without spoilers, you know what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Yeah. So Eugenie and Kurt both have adult children, and whether they realize it or not, I think one realizes and one doesn't. The relationship that their parent has had with the other person has had an impact on their life. And one is sort of like an overachiever, has, become an overachiever in her life. And one has sort of become like an excuse for like delayed, arrested development, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that was the parent child was really fun for me to write to for both of them. Just those, I have 5 siblings. There's always drama. There's always opinions about everyone. And anyway, I just had fun writing those kind of complicated relationships, because there's so much, again, like I was saying with the history with the parent child, is you have that like deep love, so it can take a lot of hits, like
Hmm.
emotional hits, but there's a lot of comedy there, like with your own family, there's a lot of jokes. It's a rich place for like comedy but also deep emotion, which is something I am trying to balance in this book, always those
Yep.
deep feelings but also bringing a laugh in.
You reminded me of a part too that between Eugenie and her adult son Austin, when they're
Yes.
towards the end of the book, when he was just like, "You're not being vulnerable or open enough to me," and
Uh-huh.
I can't help but see, I saw Eugenie here. She was like, "Oh my God, I do everything, and now I have to be vulnerable as well."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it really spoke to the mother child relationship too, because he was asking of her something that he didn't ask of his father, kind
From
of.
his dad,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because on one hand, he sees their relationship as, you didn't give me what I needed. And
Yeah.
from her perspective, she's like, I gave you everything I've got. I
Hmm.
based every decision in my life around you. How could that not be enough?
Yeah.
But there's some truth to both sides. Austin doesn't realize, like, okay, it's time for me to grow up a little bit and take more on myself. And Eugenie doesn't realize, maybe I haven't, given him a little bit of what he needed too. So there's some truth in both their perspectives. They're both kind of right.
Yeah. So in addition to the adult children, we have younger children. I think there's 3 daughters, right? Kurt,
Yeah.
because Kurt is like a serial monogamous. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he has a younger wife, and oh my gosh. Anyways, he has 3 young daughters at the
Hmm.
time. And I think through them, you also give us a glimpse of, like you said, that balance between the suburbia, regular life.
Yes. That was like my lived experience of like,
Mhm.
when Nellie's driving them on the strip and everything like
Yep.
that. And the interesting thing about having, toddlers in Las Vegas, and there's like trucks with like escort services driving driving by you and just being at these baking hot parks in the summer. And yeah, what I was saying earlier about your kids go to school with all different types of people. And definitely, I remember my one of my son's friends, his family owned a huge strip club in Las Vegas, and she was saying, "Oh, when we go to the airport, we take the limousine from the strip club, and it has a stripper pole, and I have to keep my kids off the stripper pole on the way to the airport." There's anyway. So I had some fun writing about those kind of aspects of kids in Vegas and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I like that you gave us a lot of messiness, and a lot of wisdom in those three young children. I got to say, in those three girls.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are very wise and can devastate you with their offhand comments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're too honest. Too honest.
And I wanted there to be a lot, like, I know for some people, I'm somebody who likes a big, like, 18th century novel. Give me a lot of characters, give me a
Yeah,
lot of points
me
of
too.
view, give me a big book. I love all that. And I know definitely my sister-in-law is like, there's so many characters in this book. And I definitely, because I'm like, my life is so crowded. My life is so
Mhm.
messy. I've got so many people in my ear all the time, that I kind of wanted that feeling, the messiness of family, a big family, lots of people, lots of opinions,
Yeah. And even of
Yeah.
their neighborhood that they are in, because sometimes it's
Yes.
like neighbors are coming into their lives, in and out of their lives, and just
Yeah.
wreaking a
Yeah.
little havoc and then moving on.
That was definitely one of the things when I moved to Vegas. I moved into a gated community here, and I was like, people are crazy. Like, what? Why is everybody in everyone's business? Not on like, they're not in your business on like necessarily a personal gossipy level. I played that up a little bit maybe in the book, but just in like trying to kind of police what everybody's doing in the community all the time. I was really like, this is weird. This was not fly in my small town in Saskatchewan. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, it all came through. Like, I felt fully immersed into the gated community, like right from page one, because feel like something happens right from the beginning. You're like
Yes, the
thrown
first
in.
chapter. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first chapter.
Literally thrown into the community. I was like, okay,
Yes.
yeah, it's on. Anything else you want to say about your book that I haven't asked about before we move on to our final question?
Oh gosh. No, I think we've covered so much.
Yeah.
You've had some great questions, and yeah, no.
I know. Well, I took notes as I was reading. I'm like, I'm going to talk to this woman.
I like the Carrot Top question because, like, I don't know. Every time I see Carrot Top, it's like shooting star. I love it.
So I like to end each chat by asking you to help grow my TBR. So why don't you share some of your favorite books or what you're reading now? The book that you have, your friend's book coming up in March.
Yes.
That would be
Okay.
great.
Tough Love, Taja
Okay.
Eason. It's a memoir, and it's
Oh,
about mentorship. She says it's about mentorship and submission. So you say it's a memoir about mentorship, might sound like a business book, a bit of a snooze. No, it's like a
yeah.
sexy, like, you know what I mean? Like pleasing the
Yeah.
superior and that relationship we all have with like somebody we want to mentor us. Or anyway, she lives in Vegas, like I said, and I've heard her talk. We've talked so much about it, so I really can't wait to read that in March. And then right now I'm reading Yellow Pine by Claire Vaye Watkins. I don't know if
Oh,
you've ever, she's a
no.
writer. She grew up in Tacoma. She kind of grew up in and Pahrump, like the desert, Death Valley area outside of Las Vegas. And I just love her books. Like, if you want to read a great short story collection, also she wrote the story collection Battleborn.
Okay.
So I love that. And Yellow Pine is about a woman named Rose who works for the Sierra Club, and she is sort of battling her own demons, as we all do, and then also kind of, it's really looking at like the environmental implications of things like a solar array in the desert. Claire's a very big committed environmentalist, but Claire is such a good writer at the sentence level. her prose is beautiful, but she's also just like a fun writer. She's never pretentious, and she always brings that like human emotion into it. So I'm really enjoying this book right now. And what else did I read this summer? I read The World Jones Made by Philip K. Dick. I don't know.
Oh,
I was a little stressed about my book coming out. So it's
yeah,
fun to read just like outside of, you know, just like
yeah.
outside of what I write and stuff like that. So I was kind of reading different, I do like some science fiction. So I read that. And that's the recent ones off the top of my head. Do you have any recommendations for me? What are you reading?
Oh my gosh, what am I just finished reading. Oh, it's coming out later this month, well, later in August. The Woods by Jessica Hamilton. So it's a horror book.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yes, very good. And it's all about, it's about a family who moves. They have a tragedy. So they end up moving to a new house that's surrounded by woods. And there's
Oh,
something
okay.
about the woods going on. But at its core, it's about motherhood, family, and menopause. And it
Oh,
is, yes, it's very good.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And at the moment, I'm reading The Lilac People by Milo Todd.
Okay.
It's set World War II. It's a trans story set in World War II.
Oh,
So it's about
wow.
the main character is a trans man. So his story, what happened in Berlin in for trans people pre World War II and then post World War II after the Allies came. It
Oh,
is,
interesting.
yes, it is. I'm reading this. I'm like, I, how did I not know this history? I'm like, so it's a
Yeah.
whole history of World War II that I've not,
Yeah, just
I
when you think people can't have a new take on a World War II story.
yeah, something comes along and you're like, this, I should have known this, but
Yeah.
so that's what I'm reading at the moment. You mentioned short stories. I wish I'd asked this. I'm going to ask now though. So you started in short stories. I love
Hmm.
short stories. Are you still working on them or what's,
Yes, I am. I'm kind of writing a novel and short stories back to my
mm,
old tricks right now. And that one is actually about a female RCMP officer. And it starts kind of in the like 1981. She's in one of the first troops. And she is sort of like one of those people who becomes a lot of people who become police officers are it's like are they going to go go to the dark side or are they going to be what I mean, there's like a
mm-hmm.
balance, and
Yep.
she's one of those like is she going to end up, is her life going to go left or right, and she decides to become a cop, and it sort of follows her from when she first goes in to when she retires, mapped out in my head. I have
Yeah.
sort of, and it's sort of told through different stories, and each story is like after she gets in it'll be sort of like mysteries she saw, like little cases. But I
Yeah.
got this idea kind of from, my actually, so my dad is a retired RCMP. My brother just retired from the RCMP. And I have a brother who is graduating from Depot in September. So we are like a big cop family.
Yep.
And the funny part about it is a lot of times, like, every time I describe this to people, they're like, you're not making this sound too sexy. It's a cop book. But I'm like, one of the mysteries will be like, a Dutch oven gets stolen from the church hall, and she gets like really into investigating it. And, the crime has the weight, or like that crime has the weight of like someone investigating a murder, and they're like, okay, like, just trust me, it's going to be great.
I
So,
am into it. I'm sold.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not writing it like a cozy mystery type. I'm like trying to write it like a, you know, not true crime novel, but you know what I mean, like a
Yeah.
novel, but a crime novel about rural policing. And because the crazy thing about rural policing, I'm going off on a tangent here, is the crimes are as serious as like mass murder,
Yeah.
to down to like a really like somebody's stealing hay or my chopped wood, or you know
Yeah.
I talked to my brother about this, and he's like, it's funny you say that, because one of the most satisfying crimes I solved was people where someone was stealing chopped wood from this lot, and he's like, I just did like boot leather or whatever they call it, just detective work, going to all these places and talking to people and figuring out who was doing it. Anyway, so I thought that would lend itself to short stories. So
Yeah.
that I'll always go back to that. I don't think it's so fun to write a short story after you work a huge novel. You're like,
Yeah.
I can just contain this. But then on the other hand, the other hard part of a short story is sometimes you write them and it's like, boom, 2 weeks, I got this, like the story's there. And then other times, you're working on a story like off and on for 5 years, and then you give it to someone to read and you're like, I've nailed it. And then they read it and they're like, I think that you're going to have to go back and do a lot of work on this. This story's dead.
Yeah.
Put it away,
So
that's
having written
that's the pain of
both,
the short story. Yeah.
yeah. So do you have a preference? Like I don't know if preference is the right word, because I can tell your heart is with the short story. Do you think one is easier to, I'm putting easier in quotes too, because I don't write. I think it's all difficult to do.
Yeah. To write a truly excellent short story,
Yeah.
I was saying this to my friend because my friend is in the stage of his writing career where he's sending work out to literary journals, and there are fewer literary journals nowadays and so many people who are writers, and he was getting rejection after rejection, which I have been there and still in there. Look at my Submittable. That's the software that you submit to all these literary journals, your short stories. And if I go in my Submittable account, it's just like a graveyard of every literary journal that's rejected my short stories. And I was saying to him, I'm like, sometimes I think it's harder to get a good literary journal to publish your story than it is to get your novel published.
Yeah.
So to achieve like a really high level short story, in some ways it's harder, I think. I don't know. I'm writing a more commercial novel too, like a YA novel, just kind of for fun. And that makes it a little easier to just like let it flow and not worry about like on every sentence level, the prose being like,
Yeah.
perfect and all that.
Yeah. Because a good short story, there's nothing better. Like if you
Exactly.
just to jump in for that short period of time and you're like, and everything's there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And they really stand the test of time. Like a
Yeah.
really good short story, you just pick it up and it's good forever.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to whatever you write. Send it my way.
Who knows? I don't even know.
Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been so fun. Love to talk to a fellow Canadian any chance I get.
Me too.
Okay.
So that's Erin's new book, Dangerland, is out now. I'm going to put her website. We'll all be in the show notes. And until next time, happy reading. Thank you for listening to Canada Reads Inspired. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing wherever you listen. You can connect with the podcast and Rebecca on Instagram at Canada Reads Inspired and with Tara at On a Branch Reads. May all your reading be inspired.